Coming up on ATV News.
Paradise wasn't so peaceful last night. We'll show you what lit up, only to come down.
Turning off your engine became law in Logan last night. We'll tell you how tough the law actually is.
What's with all the traffic accidents this week? We'll show you the mess of cars that couldn't stay right side up.
Sun, rain, sun, and more rain. I'll show you which weather matches which day coming up on the forecast.
The women's senior try to go out on top, but I'll show you the crazy freshmen who try to spoil their plans.
It's all coming up on ATV News.
Welcome to ATV News. I'm Ileana Borunda.
And I'm Brandon Fonda.
Fire crews from Paradise, Hiram, Wellsville, and Cache County were all called out to fight a barn fire in Paradise around 6:30 last night, but the flames still won the battle. The crews were able to contain the blaze to just the barn, but they weren't able to save the building. The flames burned through 200 tons of hay, 150 tons of straw, and a trailer with four-wheelers in it. Investigators are still trying to figure out the cause of the fire, but the family members of the barn's owner had no idea how it happened.
I was down to my house. My wife come to the door and says the barn's on fire out there.
According to fire officials, no one was injured in the fire.
A new anti-idling ordinance is in place in Cache Valley, but it didn't pass without controversy.
Herald Journal.
Cache Valley has had an anti-idling ordinance for decades, allowing idling if it was under 32 degrees. But the Logan City Municipal Council came up with a new ordinance that puts the idling temperature line at 0 degrees. Council members say police will issue 3 warnings per vehicle before giving a citation, but Council Chairman Carl Ward says that this ordinance isn't the answer.
Instead of just doing something to make ourselves feel good that we've done something, let's figure out what we really can do that will make a difference.
It's about being a good neighbor. It's about caring for our children. It's about caring for elderly, people with respiratory problems. If we don't make a statement, if we don't take a stand, then we are part of the problem.
A 5-year strategic objective for
one effort to create a culture that turns the key to be idle-free. But he also admits that it's a multifaceted problem and asks anyone with other ideas to bring them to the council.
Utah State has had 15 new student body officers for the 2014-2015 school year. So who will be representing you next year? Doug Fiafia, as well as 14 other USU students, are the 2014-2015 student body officers. This is Fiafia's second term as student body president, and he says he hopes it's even better than his last.
I think the biggest thing that I'd like to accomplish is to make it easier for students to get involved. We know that it's critical in a student's experience. It's not only the learning that you receive inside the classroom, but also outside, and so we want to make it easier for students to be involved.
The inauguration for the new US-USA student leaders will be held on April 18th.
With spring approaching, police say people are driving faster and getting into more accidents. Our Becky Eisenhower is live on 400 North, where a recent accident happened. Becky?
Thanks, Brandon. I'm standing close to where one of the first of the 5 accidents happened this week, including 3 rollovers, 1 truck in the river, and even a longboarder.
5 accidents, 6 days, 7 people. From Logan Canyon to Smithfield, the roads are now clear of the vehicles of people who are lucky to be alive. The first of the 5 accidents happened on 400 North on Wednesday afternoon.
So I was just coming down the road, and it looks like somebody was pulling out. They just weren't paying attention, and they hit me on my side. I tried to swerve out of the way, but I didn't get all the way out of the way, so I guess I rolled over a few times, what it looks like.
He was treated on scene and released. The driver of the passenger car, adult female, she was not injured.
The second crash happened on Thursday night on 100 North in Smithfield. One car ran a red light and hit an SUV, causing it to flip over. 2 people were involved and neither of them were seriously injured. On Friday, Aaron Christensen was riding his longboard down 10th North. When he got to the intersection, he couldn't stop and he was hit by a car.
I did a front flip apparently, and then kind of a side flip it sounds like. Landed on my butt and just sort of laid down there.
Accident number 4 happened in Logan Canyon on Monday night.
We looked down and he swerved off the road and just crashed into the water.
Police say the driver was diabetic and his blood sugar was low.
They're getting his blood sugar back up now and he'll be checked out and released.
Although 4 of the 5 accidents resulted in minor injuries, one crash sent a man to a local hospital.
This man was driving under the influence when his truck flipped on Highway 89. He was taken to the hospital and arrested for DUI and other violations.
Fortunately, there were no major injuries. However, I'm sure those 7 people will be a lot more careful the next time they step into their vehicle. Back to you, Brandon.
I'm sure they will be. Thanks, Becky.
Coming up, is your vote being counted? We'll tell you about a new initiative that will change the system.
And registering your car is going to cost you more this year. We'll show you why.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
One of the Count My Vote tables on campus last week, you weren't the only one. From Utah's Capitol Hill on Sunday, both sides of the caucus and convention debate compromised to reach a point that former governor and Count My Vote co-chair Mike Leavitt said, via phone interview, will accomplish their goals, and then some. At the press conference, we learned that the State Bill 54 will maintain Utah's caucus convention system, but now allows an estimated 665,000 unaffiliated voters to vote in primary elections. People who disagree with the present model say that way communities choose delegates to send to the caucus can exclude women and does not speak for those who can't attend the meetings.
You find that the issue priorities of Utahns as a whole, or even just Republicans in Utah as a whole, are very different from the most important issues identified by state delegates and caucus attendees.
With 6 days left in the session and both the House and Senate supporting the revisions, State Bill 54 should pass before the weekend. You may have noticed it's a little more expensive to get your car inspections done for registrations this year. That's because the new emissions testing law took effect in January.
But why is Cache County cashing in? We took to the streets to see if you know why and what you think of the new law. Every time you start your car, you add to this. That's why as of January 1st, 2014, Cache County residents are required to pass an emissions inspection.
I don't like it one bit.
It does kind of suck having to pay more just to be able to drive on the roads.
There's roughly 80,000 cars in Cache Valley, and the average emissions inspection is $15. That means Cache Valley drivers will pay upwards of $1.2 million this year. And that doesn't include repairs if your car fails. The new inspections won't only cost you more money, but those who work under the cars as well. Mechanic John Murdoch feels that the emission fees are too low.
Just have the $15 fee and to do the test won't make the monthly payment on the equipment.
He only makes money if they fail, which doesn't happen very often.
4 or 5%, I would guess.
But if the county had it their way, emissions testing wouldn't be required.
Initially, the county council voted 5-2 to not do it.
But the Environmental Protection Agency disagreed with the council.
We were strong-armed in doing it.
And the threat of penalties were too much to ignore.
The EPA has the power to restrict highway funding, and there are millions of dollars that come into Cache County to help us work with our highways.
But not everybody disagrees.
I would say that I am for emissions testing, definitely. I think it's worth it to pay extra money.
The benefits is it's going to have an improvement on our air quality. I mean, it's not going to be a huge improvement.
Not a huge improvement, but good enough for Uncle Sam.
You know what? In the end, when the federal government says, are you going to do it or are you not going to do it? We said, you know what? We're not going to succeed from the union. We're going to do emissions testing.
Tests done every year. Cars that are less than 6 years old will need to do emissions testing at least once every 2 years.
Do you feel safe in your neighborhood? A new upgrade might help you feel more protected. City funding is helping Smithfield Police get some brand new guns. The one on the right is one of the police department's old guns. They have been using the .40 caliber Glock since the department opened in 2000.
Equipment wears out, we replace cars, vests, duty gear. This was a good time for it to happen because we had the money.
Money for the guns is from the Armory City Council budget.
That's generally put towards practice ammunition, duty ammunition, the replacement of weapons.
And in doing so, we find that the officers have improved the quality of their shooting.
But it's not all about firing the guns during dangerous situations.
Not so much that we want to see them shoot during duty, that's not what we want, but we certainly want them to be overall proficient in the use of all their equipment.
As far as the surplus of the old guns, where they are law enforcement only weapons, we have 3 options through state law.
And according to the Utah State Agency for Surplus Property, you can only resell a handgun if it's to a dealer, an agency, or someone certified with the department.
And then, of course, once that ownership from the city is terminated, then it becomes the responsibility of the person who now has acquired that ownership.
And the 4th generation Glock will be used after City Council approval. Ileana Borunda, ATV News.
Coming up after the break, Misty Inglet will have your spring break weather forecast.
Right now, it's a beautiful 51 degrees in Cache Valley.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in-your-face pep talk.
I can keep pushing. Believe me, I'm good at it.
Once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell him.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? He needs something a little more
persuasive.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time.
One book could be the first thing helps to change a life. Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
We haven't really been having some hot weather this week.
We really have. It's been pretty nice. Back east, it's not so nice. I'm glad we're not over there. They're setting record lows for March, and it's only 5 days in, so I'm glad we're here. Let's take a look outside, see how it's looking right now. It's pretty nice outside. It's slightly cloudy, but it's pretty nice out there. No rain right now. Looking good out there. Let's look at our national forecast. So over here on the East Coast, in the upper part, there's really nothing going on. It's pretty clear over there. Then when you get down into this lower part, into South Carolina and lower part of North Carolina, they're getting some rainstorms. The green is the lighter precipitation and the dark blue is the heavier precipitation. And then it's going to start out with a heavier storm down there, and then as it works its way to the ocean, it's going to get lighter. Taking a look at the Midwest, they've got a pretty big storm coming through there. It's hitting Nebraska, Kansas, Illinois, Indiana, working its way clear over to Ohio. And as you can see here, it's dark blue, so they're just getting slammed with a lot of rain right now. Looking at the West Coast right here, it's pretty clear as well. The northern part of Idaho is getting hit with some rain right now. They've got some showers coming in. Let's look at northern Utah. So there's really nothing going on in Utah right now. It's pretty clear in all parts of the state. There's nothing coming in from the neighboring areas. So let's just look at our 7-day forecast. Looking at today, it's pretty sunny out there. The high is about 53 and the low should hit about 40. But then tomorrow, you're gonna see that rain back again. So get ready to break out your umbrellas again. There's a 70% chance of rain tomorrow, high in the 50s, low in the 30s. And then taking a look, heading into Friday, you're seeing some rain there as well. There's a 30% chance you'll see some more on Friday. High is about 40s and the lows in the 30s. But then the weekend should be really nice. It'll be sunny on Saturday and Sunday, only a 10% chance of rain on Sunday. But then kicking off the beginning of spring break week next week, look out because you're gonna get hit with the rain again. 60% chance on Monday and a 40% chance on Tuesday. So hope you guys are all going somewhere warm and sunny for spring break.
Yeah, it sounds like a dreary start to spring break.
Oh, yeah,
Luckily,
for sure.
I will be in Phoenix, so no problem there.
Jason, you're going to Vegas, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going to Vegas for the Mountain West Tournament to watch Utah State, the men and the women, see what they can do there. But we'll have more of that next week after spring break. But coming up after our break, I'll show you if USU Gymnastics got stung by Sacramento State, plus our interview with Jennifer Schlott, aka Miss Do It All.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in your face pep talk.
I can keep pushing. Believe me, I'm good at it.
Once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell them.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? He needs something a little more
Persuasive.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at your GED.
Welcome to another fresh edition of ATV Sports. I'm Jason Borba. We get things started on the mats as Utah State hosted the Hornets of Sacramento State. The Aggies were looking to get back on their feet after falling to the Pioneers last week. The Aggies started hot and never looked back as they tumbled their way to an easy victory over the Hornets. Junior Sarah Landis led the team as she cruised to the victory in the all-around competition, scoring big points on all 4 events. Freshman Bailey McIntyre continued to be impressive on the floor as she scored a 9-9 for the second week in a row to lead all gymnasts. As Team USA scored over 195 points for the second time this year and the first time in front of their home crowd. The Aggies stung the Hornets as they went on to win by nearly 2 full points. With the win, the Aggies moved to 5-4 on the season. USU stays at home as they host the San Jose State Spartans this Friday in the Spectrum. The women's basketball team's regular season has come to a close, and for 2 seniors, that means their time in an Aggie uniform is coming to an end. Crystal Turner and Jennifer Schlott are the only 2 seniors on the team, and they received a hero's goodbye on Saturday. Turner has been with USU for 2 years after transferring from Oral Roberts and was known as a three-point specialist while in Logan. Schlott, well, we could devote an entire 30-minute show to her. She has been nothing short of extraordinary on her way to shattering multiple school and Mountain West records.
Crystal Turner's a graduate student getting her graduate degree at 4.0, and Jen's going to be probable academic All-American honors. So those two are going to be tough to replace because on the floor what they do, and then obviously off the floor what kind of kids they are.
As for the game itself, it was a barn burner through the first half. Schlott is going to pickpocket Classy James, and yes, that really is her name. Schlott is a scorer, but she's also a giver, finding Elise Nelson for the and one. You want more Schlott? Well, I'll give you more Schlott. You think she's going in for the layup? Nope. Pull-up jumper in your face. Boom goes the dynamite. The Aggies, well, they're feeling good, up 11, but San Jose freshman Britta Hall wasn't going to stand for it as she single-handedly takes over the Spartan offense. Here, she's going to drive to the hoop for the deuce, and she can even hit the layup while getting fouled. If it's a three ball you like, well, she can do that too, and she can shoot from a different time zone. The girl's got freakish range. With 2 minutes left in the half and the game tied at 40, USU says no more to Britta Hall and takes an 11-1 run to take a 10-point lead into the break. The Aggies, well, they picked up right where they left off in the second half, and they continue to gore the Spartans. And Schlott, she's going to put up another shot and make another shot. No surprise there. And then Jasmine Porter is going to launch. Sorry about that. I don't think I'm allowed to show you the rest of the highlights. It became a very one-sided affair as USU was resilient on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. The Aggies stampeded to a 96-67 victory, and Schlott put up video game numbers with 34 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals just for the heck of it. And now I'm joined by Bradley Wells to talk a little bit more about Jennifer Schlott.
Yeah, you know, she's had a really amazing season so far for USU. She's broken the school record for points in a season, which was set by Devin Christensen last year.
Yeah, I actually saw Devin Christensen break that record. But Schlott is a whole different beast. She scores a lot more efficiently, less shots, more points.
Yeah, efficiency's really good. And you know what? She's really humble as well. I had a chance to talk to her earlier this year and, you know, just to kind of talk about what she has in mind for her senior season.
When Jerry Finkbeiner took over as head coach at Utah State, Jennifer Schlott was already a junior.
I was told by outside sources around the conference that little Jen Schlott's a pretty good player. She just hadn't had a chance yet to really score and do some of the things that she can do. And I had a hard time believing it because Jen Schlott is really not that big of a kid.
She uses that small frame to her advantage.
She's very quick, but she's also smart with it, so she can beat players off the dribble, but she can also pull up for the jump shot. She gets her teammates open. She gives them the ball when they need it.
Really, I'm just trying to do whatever it takes for the team. Whatever the team needs of me, like, I'm willing to do whatever they need.
In the team room before games and at halftime, coaches come up with plays such as this, where Jen Schlott takes it to the court and slides to the defense for a score.
Earlier in the year, with her team down 5 points at halftime to the University of Utah, Schlott's number was called and it was her time to shine.
Coach told me at halftime, he was like, Jen, you know, this is your game. It's time for you to take over. You need to step up scoring-wise. So I just looked for myself a little bit more offensively.
She did just that as she scored 25 points in the second half. She scored 37 points in the game to lead her team to victory.
She also has that IQ to distribute the ball when she's covered heavily. So good package. I already missed Jen Schlott next year. It's going to be hard to replace her.
I'm just trying to take it day by day. Of course, you know, in the back of my mind, it's like, wow, this is my last year. It's crazy, but, you know, game by game, day by day, I just want to make the most of it and just have no regrets.
You know, she's also broken the Mountain West record for points scored in a season. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, and if that wasn't enough, she also holds the school record for assists in a season and is third all-time on that list.
You know, it's going to be pretty exciting to go down to Las Vegas next week and watch her and the team, see how they do.
For sure. We'll have those highlights after spring break. Back to you, Ileana and Brandon.
Thanks, guys. When we come back, Logan Canyon looked like the Arctic this weekend. We'll show you some furry visitors.
And it's one of USU's most popular events, why people came from out of state to join in the celebration.
If you drive buzzed,
It could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey everybody! Heart disease affects 1 in every 3 women in America, but you can fight back. There's no time to lose. Mothers, sisters, daughters, families, and friends, it's time to shout louder, stand stronger, and demand change. Let's go!
To the Batmobile. Dang it.
To the invisible jet! Dang it. Together, we can put an end to heart disease. It's time to go red for women. I could use your help. Learn more from the American Heart Association at www.goredforwomen.org.
Welcome back. There are more than just snowmobiling tracks at the Sinks in Logan Canyon. ATV's Jill Hodson went up to the snowy trails to meet some exciting faces.
Dogs are barking, running, and panting Friday and Saturday morning at the Sinks in Logan Canyon. Freshly fallen snow made for a better race.
It was really beautiful up there, like the mountains and stuff.
When you think of dog sledding, you may think of this dog, the Siberian Husky. These dogs are often used as the sled dogs on movies, but in reality, dogs like this Zeppela Husky and these Alaskan Huskies have longer legs, which are better for running. Other sled dogs can be different breeds too.
And they're bred with other dogs to make a dog without as thick of a coat, maybe a little bit leggier, really easy to work with. And generally, you know, it makes for a really fine racing dog, although the purebreds are wonderful too. But this is what we race with, the Alaskan Huskies.
There's a lot of dogs that can do mushing. There's a lot of people that use German short hairs in the summertime for dryland racing, and then some people use that breed for winter. Obviously, we've got to put some coats on them sometimes when it's cold, but the main breed that's used is called an Alaskan Husky.
Mushers can have anywhere from 2 to 8 dogs on a sled team. Some may borrow their dogs, others collect them.
Yeah, we have 8 with us and about 20 more at home.
Jill Hodson, ATV News.
Dog sled races in Logan happen once a year. If you would like to volunteer, go to CacheValleyMushers.com for more information. People as far away as New Mexico and South Dakota came to USU over the weekend to take part in the longest running event on campus.
While this gives some a chance to compete, it gives you the chance to learn more about Native American culture. Our own Misty Inglet takes a step into the culture to show us more.
Sounds of drums, music, singing and dancing filled the Hyper last weekend for USU's 41st Native American Powwow. The goal of the powwow is to honor traditions, such as the circle, which represents unity. Everything at the powwow was formed around that particular shape. Chairs were arranged around a circular dance floor, they danced in different circular motions, and there were various circle designs and patterns on all of their costumes. But the most important circle is the drum circle. In Native American cultures, the drum symbolizes the heartbeat. And at powwows like these, the drums are the most important part. If there's no drum, there's no dancing. Though the drums are a key part to the powwows and are needed for dancing, not everyone can drum. That honor belongs only to the men.
The reason why women don't drum is because they have the ability to have a heartbeat inside them. They have that ability to have a life inside them. So the child's heartbeat is in line with that of the mother. Men, we don't have that ability. So therefore we drum, and we drum to get our heartbeats back in line with that of Mother Earth.
The drummers set the stage for the dance competitions, but the dancing wasn't just about winning.
When we're up there, we're dancing. We're dancing for those who can't dance themselves, and we're also dancing for people that are basically gone.
In these dances, judges were looking at costumes, rhythm and movement, and proper footwork. Organizers said the entire event was a success. Misty Inglet, ATV News.
Thanks for watching ATV News.